My friends, the gospel that you have heard is about for the first time, Jesus is sending his disciples for a mission. And we will go into the meaning of this sending of the 72 disciples and the relevance of that to us. But before we go to the outline, since it is a gorgeous day, let's have a joke. There were two people waiting for judgment from St. Peter at the gates of heaven. They were waiting to see where they were going. One was a priest, and the other was a taxi driver. After 30 minutes, St. Peter stepped out and said, "Listen, this is where you go. The priest will go to purgatory. The taxi driver will go to heaven." And the priest complained, "That's not fair. I'm a priest. Why will I go to purgatory?" Why was the reason? So St. Peter said, do you really want to know the reason? He said, "You priest, every time you speak, everybody is sleeping. This guy, every time he's driving, everybody is praying." Now let's go back to business. Let's go into the outline that we have. First, we will investigate the meaning, the technical term for the phrase being sent. What is the meaning of that word, being sent? Then second, we will investigate the two forms of travel. There are two ways to travel. The distinction will help us understand the mechanics or the reason for the very concrete instructions of Jesus to the 72 disciples. And then the third, we will see the relevance of that to you and me here in the parish. What is the meaning of us being sent here? And then we will relate that to the experience of our parish in our journey, in our mission. So, the word being sent is, of course, the passive form of the verb. The original verb in Latin is mitto, M-I-T-T-O. The infinitive is mittere. Participle form is missus. That's where the word mission came from. Being sent. Of course, in English we say, you're being sent with a mission. That's where the word mission comes from. They were sent for a purpose. That is the reason. Then there are, very specific instructions that Jesus gave to them as being sent, which will bring us to the two forms of travel. There are two ways of traveling. First is that you travel on your own. You go to a cruise or a tour. The most important thing when you're traveling by yourself or on your own, you should have a budget. That's number one. Second, you plan the itinerary. The budget is important because you have to pay for everything, right? You have to pay for your plane ticket, for your hotel, for your food, and the itinerary will depend on your budget. If you run out of money, you better come back home. Otherwise, you'll be cleaning dishes, come back home. So, because you are spending from your own, and the trip that you have is determined by your budget. Now, the other form of travel is that you are being sent by your boss to represent the company to a gathering or to a conference When you travel that way, that's a business trip. You don't worry about your budget. The office will get your plane ticket. They will book you. They will get your hotel. All the fees, registrations will be shouldered by the company because you're being sent. You don't have to worry about those. But you have to follow exactly what the boss is telling you. You are not there on your own. You're representing the firm. So everything that you will say or report is already in the folder. You don't invent those. You just go up there and present what you were told to do. Just report. And everything else will be shouldered by the company. You have to follow the instructions of the boss. Just report. And the boss will take care of everything. Your success or failure, you don't worry about that. You just follow what you are told. That was the mission of the 72 disciples. Jesus was very specific in giving them instructions, even what to wear, how to behave, how to conduct themselves when they go to a town or a place, how to react to the people, how to handle situations. They were empowered, they were given power that they can withstand difficulties, they can heal people, and then they saw Satan defeated because they were there proclaiming the good news, the reign of God. And that on their way back, they were reporting to Jesus, and he said, we did so many things, and we were successful. And Jesus said, don't rejoice because you succeeded, but rejoice because your names are written in heaven, because you followed the instructions you were told. Now, what is the relevance of that to us? Every month, we have a mingle here of new parishioners, averaging, tens, 50, 60 people, the new parishioners. And as you know that we are coming from all over the world, this is the biggest retirement action in the whole world, and we are at the very center of it. Our parish is at the very heart of this. And people are coming here from all over the world, especially in the north, where you stayed for so many years, for decades and decades and scores, and then you come back here in a new place. But one thing we emphasize is we are not here by accident. We are not here by chance. We were sent here by God, because God has a purpose for us here. We have a mission here to do. Like Father John, myself, I came from the exact opposite of the globe, of the world. If it is 12 noon here, 12 midnight in the Philippines. Sometimes I look out of the window, I say, what am I doing here? What am I doing here in this part of the world? We were sent here by somebody. Our lives were designed by God. We were sent here for a mission. When I came to America, June of 1988, it will be 31 years this year. On my way to Rome for a scholarship, I brought a very small carry-on luggage and a box of dried fish. My first assignment was 14th Street, New York City, between 8th and 9th Avenue, St. Bernard's Church, Can you imagine the shock from the mountains in the Philippines to New York City? I wasn't able to sleep the whole night, you know, of all the buildings and everything. And there were only a couple of $20 in my pocket. Next year, when I qualify for Medicare, I have generated more than $35 to $40 million to the church in America. Real estate and buildings. Real estate and buildings and land, and continuous increase in offertory. Mission, we were sent here for a mission. For me, nothing. My bank account, nothing. But I always feel that I was following a force, that I was being sent. Just report to your duty. Do what you are told, and God will take care of everything. That is the meaning of our journey here in St. Vincent de Paul. In the very heart, we will be at the center of the villages in the coming years. Building here, making God's love visible, tangible to people for all the world. And that our community mirrors that God is real, His love is available, and not only here in our premises, but we step out and transform the lives of people, feed people, heal them. That is our mission here. And just as Jesus said to the apostles, don't rejoice because you are building, don't rejoice because you are so blessed. Rejoice because your names are written in heaven. That is why our campaign is called Building the Way to Heaven campaign. We are preparing for our final destination. This is the path. This mission is the path that will lead us to heaven. That's the end of the homily today.